Hey there everyone, Ed Bloodsworth here with WKRG News 5. Let's talk about the tropical update. We are now at 65 days left to go in the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, and there is a lot of interest on the east coast of the U.S. here. Let's take a look big picture as we always do. We will begin with Gabrielle, which is post-tropical. It's going to bring some squally weather to Europe here, Portugal, Spain over the next couple of days. Humberto rapidly intensifying, now a major hurricane, the second major hurricane of the season. And then of course we also have TD number 9. Of course, this is potential tropical cyclone number 9. We're going to dive into all of these systems. We'll begin with the newest one, potential tropical cyclone 9. So this is not officially a tropical entity at this point, but there is a certainty that it will happen, becoming a depression and then eventually a named storm. Right now it's an open trough of disturbed weather over Cuba and the Turks and Caicos. Tropical storm alerts have now been issued for the Bahamas in advance of this thing coming together. It's moving northwest at 9, and the maximum winds are 35 miles per hour as of the 4 p.m. Friday advisory. Here's the first track on PTC 9. It is expected to become a tropical storm this weekend. It will be given the name Imelda. From there, it moves through the Bahamas and is expected to strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane. But I want you to notice the end of this forecast track. Notice how we see this slow down as it approaches the South Carolina coast and that big cone expand. This is due to a high degree of uncertainty once the system approaches the Carolinas. Now look at the general ensemble models. You'll notice this track to the north and west is pretty certain at this point. But once it gets to the Carolina coast, notice how a lot of the models just sort of stop, and some even just stall the system on the coast. And that's due to a couple of competing factors that'll be working either for or against Imelda. Let's also take a look at Humberto. If you are tracking at home, this is rapidly intensified into a major hurricane. Maximum winds up to 115 miles per hour. It's moving west-northwest at 5, and it will likely strengthen even more. In fact, this could flirt with Category 5 status sometime this weekend as it tracks to the northwest, and could become a very large hurricane, in fact, as it starts to make another close approach to Bermuda. I know Bermuda has had several close approaches from significant storms. Well, here's another one coming your way by Tuesday. Now, let's talk a little bit more about what will become Imelda and Humberto and the overall steering pattern. What's going to drive the eventual track of these systems? Well, you've got strong area of high pressure centered over Bermuda. You've also got a big upper level trough. That's what that big L represents, dipping into the Southeast U.S. Now what will happen is the storms are generally going to round the ridge and then start to find that alley which will guide the system to the north. Now what happens Sunday and beyond, that is the big question mark. So we expect that that trough will maybe weaken a little bit here, which will eventually guide the system towards the Carolina coast. But if this remains very weak, if that upper level trough remains weak, that may allow the system to basically stall out for a period of time, and then with another trough coming in, eventually that'll take Humberto out to sea. But at this point, we think folks along the northeastern coast of Florida, the Georgia coast, Carolina coast, North Carolina, South Carolina need to pay close attention to the system, as tropical weather would be possible by the early half or middle part of next week. So you may want to start reviewing your tropical weather plans. And so again, the scenario you see here may not be the exact scenario that plays out here. I think we'll know a lot as by the time we head towards maybe Sunday, and then certainly by Monday, what the upper level pattern is doing, and then we should gain some certainty in terms of the eventual track of Imelda. But bottom line, I think this could, especially if this system begins to slow down, become a major flood threat along coastal Georgia and coastal South Carolina early next week. So certainly something for us to keep a very close eye on. So now a major hurricane, Humberto. Imelda is next up. Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo will be the next names up for the 2025 list. Make sure you track the tracks of all the systems on the WKRG Hurricane Map Room. You'll find that on WKRG.com, or be sure to download our free WKRG weather app as well.